Submit to your husband, Taylor. You're not in charge.
Dude, what happened to shame? Anytime I hear unfiltered commentary from any conservative, I'm like, you should be ashamed to have these words come out of your mouth, dude. Charlie Kirk's assessment, okay?
Is why Taylor Swift has been so just kind of annoyingly liberal over the last couple of years is that she's not yet married and she doesn't have children. I say this non-sarcastically. I say this as a husband and a father. Having children changes you. Getting married.
Dog, you got worse. So I don't know. Maybe not the best argument. You became a worse person in the last, like, you were already pretty bad. And it was actually remarkable because, like, people were saying, can he get worse? Is that even physically possible? And then he was like, no, I can prove it.
Married changes you. And I hope that America's biggest pop star marrying the pharmaceutical spokesperson.
These guys are crazy, man. You're talking about Travis Kelce, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy to me to talk about a Chiefs tight end like this. This is so soy, objectively. Okay? This mother plays in the NFL, and these guys are so butthurt that, yeah, 3-time Super Bowl champion, tight end for the Chiefs, Travis Kelce is a Pfizer spokesperson. Like, shut up, dude. That is crazy. This is the type of shit that I think unironically pisses people off more when they're like, what the talking about? Oh, yeah, he did a Pfizer sponsorship. Like, yeah, this is no different than when people call football sports ball. It is. It's got real sports ball energy. Shut up, nerd. Is he doing the receding hairstyle? I don't know what's going on with this. I've never seen a widow's peak like this. He literally has the Vegeta cut. Straight up. It's so funny because his head shape looks exactly like a balloon. So, like, even if he were to buzz that off, he's cooked. Because, like, eventually he's supposed to give that up, right? And when he does, it's going to look even crazier because it's just going to straight up look like an egg. Like, he looks like a cartoon character running around looking like Kakarot. Talking about can't even go Super Saiyan. It's so bad.
Ends up conservatizing them. Taylor Swift might de-radicalize herself. She might come back down to reality. I want them to have lots of children. It teaches you something about yourself. Deep down, I think Taylor Swift actually was raised as a conservative that has gotten kind of caught up in this metropolitan liberal stuff, and she doesn't quite have an attachment to the conservative backbone that she was raised in, but this might reattach her in the best possible way. And I'm not saying this sarcastically. I've seen this happen time and time again. When people start to get married and have children, it starts to change your politics. It starts to clarify your worldview. And for Taylor Swift, who obviously is very popular and incredibly...
Bro, that's crazy. If you Google Taylor Swift, if you go on Google right now, okay, and type in Taylor Swift, look at this. Oh, wait, it didn't happen. It happened, but when I first did it, there's like confetti. That's motion. I mean, there was like, I got confetti. I got hit with confetti.
Supported. Taylor Swift might go from a cat lady to a JD Vance supporter.
I just don't understand. First of all, ew, gross. Do these guys unironically think that like people who are liberal don't get married or something? Like, is that like a legitimate thing that's happening over there? I mean, they just hallucinate everything regardless. So they might as well hallucinate this too, you know? Like they just made this shit up in their minds. They're like, people on the left don't get married. People who are liberals don't get married, obviously. And when you do get married, you become conservative. Like, what? You're just wish casting. You're just wish casting. That's it. If you want to know about who's doing polygamy, for example, or another version of polyamory, I guess, it's the motherfucking Utah conservatives. It's the Mormons. Okay? Who's doing serialized polyamory? It's not furries. I mean, they're doing it too, let's be real, but like, it's the goddamn Mormon church. Talk about non-traditional marriage. It's just not considered in the same way. It's just because you own that space, I guess. The unethical version of polyamory. Again, people love to talk about like the sexual proclivities of liberals, right? You know who swings extra hard? Every goddamn wine mom, racist wine mom that is a part of like Saving the Family Institution Foundation or whatever, that's like constantly talking about how like trans people need to be eradicated from society. Those are the people that are doing polyamory, and they're swinging like crazy. Nancy Mace is the best example of this. Nancy Mace is on video receiving a spat out shot from the most ziz looking lesbian woman I've ever seen wearing a MAGA shirt, only to spit it into the mouth of another person. I'm not going to run the clip. I'm not going to do that for you right now. Is polygamy not polyamory? Shut up. I know. I'm saying it's unethical polyamory. That's what I said, okay? For the wokes out there, I know it's not the same. I'm just simply stating that it is not a traditional form of like a man marrying a woman type marriage, okay?
And I think we should celebrate that. I think that Taylor Swift having 2 or 3 children, she should have more children than she has houses. That is my challenge, Taylor Swift. And I'm not being sarcastic. I think that if she ends up having children, she'll stop this kind of liberal endorsing Joe Biden nonsense. And we want Taylor Swift on Team America. We want you to leave the island of the wokies. And we would welcome you with open arms. One of the reasons why so many people on the right have been just skeptical or at least a little bit negative on Taylor Swift is up until this point, that's not a great role model for young women to wait all.
Dude, I'm sorry. I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan myself. Okay. But how the is a person who is like endlessly successful and doesn't really have any sort of serious controversy associated with her, not a positive role model for young women? As a matter of fact, her consistent avoidance of even putting her name out there and associating herself with like progressive politics is part of that process. She's the most brand safe institution you can point to. She got less flubs and less controversy than like multi-million-dollar corporations from the framework that liberals care about, by the way. I'm not saying that multi-million-dollar corporations are not riddled with controversy. Of course they are. It's built on top of the unequal extraction of wealth and natural resources and labor power from the global south. I'm not getting into all of that. I'm just saying, even within a liberal framework, which Charlie Kirk operates in, like, she has no controversies. Even no controversies for conservatives. That's why so many conservative white women can enjoy Taylor Swift's content, regardless of her, I guess, controversial position of being a woman who is immensely successful. Charlie Kirk is advocating for a reality that does not exist, okay? It does not make any goddamn sense to me when I try to analyze this from the liberal monolithic culture that we exist under, the liberal hegemony that we exist under. Like, why the didn't the average wine mom or wine dad not look to Taylor Swift as like a positive role model for their children? Why? Because she wasn't married until 35? Get the out of here. Oh, she's not barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen for her husbando. Very strange, very stupid assessment.
All the way until you're 35 and just put your career first. We just talked about this with Katie Miller. However, there's a great chance to change that. It's a great chance for Taylor Swift now to get married and have a ton of children. You can certainly afford it, Taylor. And Taylor Swift has been all, through America and the ups and the downs. And if you feel that violent shaking in your home, that is the earthquake of the pop culture. If you hear that high-pitched scream, those are the young ladies on your block screaming. And honestly, Pfizer pays well, baby. I mean, Pfizer pays the bills. That is quite a ring, Mr. Kelsey. I'm impressed. I got to be honest. We don't know exactly how much Pfizer paid you to peddle that product, but boy, you brought in the Benjamins.
3-time Super Bowl winner, dude. What are you talking about? Like, he's not just a NFL guy. He is an incredibly famous NFL tight end who won 3 Super Bowl rings. What are you saying? It's not Pfizer, okay? It's every other brand deal that he has on top of that. Why the would you think, dude? Yeah, his career earnings is like $100 million. What are you talking about, bro? Oh, dude, the Pfizer. It's Pfizer. He just got the Pfizer. Remember, he got the Pfizer money. He's woke. Like, as though that's own.
Sir, that is some impressive carrots right there. That right there has its own zip code. I'm impressed. All kidding and sarcasm aside, this is something that I hope will make Taylor Swift more conservative. Engage in reality more and get outside of the abstract clouds. Reject feminism. Submit to your husband, Taylor. You're not in charge. And most importantly,
dude, what happened to shame? Anytime I hear unfiltered commentary from any conservative, I'm like, you should be ashamed to have these words come out of your mouth, dude. Oh, submit to your husband. Like, what? Like, you have a wife. Does your wife not hear you say this? Like, I don't get it. Do you not feel some type of way when you hear your husband talk like this? The father to your daughter talk like this? What a psychotic thing to talk about. What a psychotic thing to say. Prepare to be clipped this on, but he did bro tip. Okay, yeah. Bro, how does he have a wife? I mean, he's famous in conservative circles. But it's just like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me that you are not even remotely embarrassed to over 10 years ago. It's longer than that. It's 2013. It's 12 now. These guys are constantly looking for like new master slave dynamics. Like, where it's not enough to just like have a permanent underclass with like undocumented migrants. It's not enough to constantly like relitigate this false sense of racial superiority with white supremacy. It's like women are also second class too. Everybody but me. You just gotta find new metas. I mean, it's not a new meta necessarily. It is the oldest meta, one might even say. But it's so stupid to try to relitigate this in 2025, especially with words such as this, especially when talking about clearly the more prominent person in that relationship being Taylor Swift. Why can't they be equal partners? That should be enough, right? Regardless of people's like financial circumstances, that should be your goal. A marriage is supposed to be a lifelong partnership between two even partners, your equal partner. How can you? This is what I never understand about the way these guys operate. Like, why the would you ever make a lifelong commitment to a human being that you clearly do not respect at all, that you unironically actively undermine the humanity of? It doesn't make sense. You must not respect yourself. Either you're faking or there's just something completely busted in this. Why the would you literally make a lifelong commitment to a person that you are supposed to spend every waking moment with, a person who is going to shape your next generation, a person who is going to turn around and help in the process of raise your kids, a person who is going to be half gene pool of like whatever you're bringing out. And you literally think that person is not a peer, is not a partner, is not an equal. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that to yourself even? Do you really believe this? Oh, I got married because I could just like have a slave in my house. I don't understand it, dude. I don't. When are you supposed to debate this? No, it's happening next month. In a couple weeks, actually.
I can't wait to go to a Taylor Kelsey concert. I can't say it without laughing. You got to change your name. If not, you don't really mean it. Congratulations, Taylor.
I don't understand this at all, bro. I don't. It's so disrespectful. Like, you must be servile to your husband. You must be your husband's servant. He's the one that wears the pants now. Like, you only say that when you're insecure about whatever you're lacking in your own personal relationship, that you have to constantly relitigate this. You have to constantly bring it up. It's like insecure manosphere losers all the time talking about how macho they are, how masculine they are, how alpha they are. It's like, oh, you're lacking. You have a deep-seated, deep-rooted insecurity within yourself. You are an incredibly, unimaginably insecure person. So you constantly have to reinforce this kind of sentiment to make yourself feel better. Okay? And the same goes for every different kind of bigotry, for sure. But in this conversation, like, constantly reminding people how things are supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be. A woman is your servant. You're doing that because you're just insecure. Why the would you develop a lifelong partnership and constantly have to deal with, if you truly believe this, right? You're sharing this space with this person. You're sharing your darkest secrets with this person. Why would you ever do that with someone you don't respect? Do you have no self-respect whatsoever? I guess the answer is yes. He's such a goddamn brown noser that he's just a vehicle for whatever conservative sentiment must be spat out to as broad an audience as possible, that it is just like deep-seated insecurity. I don't know. I will never understand that. If you don't respect women in general, then why the would you ever spend an entire lifetime with one? Why would you be confident enough to assume that they're going to be able to raise your next of kin? You're just locking yourself into a horrible situation. You got to fix your own brain before you get there, you know?